You guys know what happened? Do you guys know what's going on?
Proof that Sneako's channel is reinstated. Here it is. Whoa, 1.27 million. Sneako has been officially unbanned on YouTube. I am the guy for criticizing Sneako. I released the absolute annihilation of Sneako, one of the, in my opinion, best edited, best produced videos I've ever released personally. I understand, I think, Sneako's frame a lot better than most people. I followed him throughout the entire fucking Red Pill arc with the intention, of course, to criticize. I was just fascinated consistently while I was preparing that video. There just kept being these massive, huge ideas that Sneako would stomp through like a fucking moron and totally butcher and brutalize. Even if there's some coherent threads that he would discover, he would treat the topics with not exactly a gentle hand. And so that was the primary purpose of the video that I made. I feel like that video served its purpose. I feel pretty proud of it. The effects of it, I'd like to think, have been positive, okay? And so now that Sneako's officially been unbanned, 3 years he spent in the fucking gulag, in the fucking depths of Rumble, the depths of Kick, the depths of party.com or whatever the hell. He's back. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I imagine he has a lot of content, a lot of edited content too, that I imagine he will start to upload to YouTube. If I had to guess, he's about to go ham. I imagine Sneako will probably become another figure that is talked about once again, because him receiving a channel on a mainstream platform with over 1 million subscribers, right? You have to keep in mind that Sneako got banned right after he reached 1 million subscribers. He's probably about to resurge. I am not fully dialed into Sneako's current positions, but from what I have been paying attention to, he has become a little bit tighter on some of his positions, in the sense that where he before, when he was in the depths, right? I've always had this philosophy, this mentality. When you get banned from a mainstream platform and you rely on that platform for your income, this is a very alienating and scary experience, okay? You suddenly wake up and you lose everything. Now, in the case of Sneako, I would add certain caveats. He was almost angling to get banned. He was operating in such a reckless manner. Everyone was saying, you're going to get banned, watch out. And he ignored all caution. He seemed almost to want to get banned. And only after he got banned and he realized how fucking brutal it is to not have any platform did he really seem to regret it. But he's back. I am, of course, philosophically against deplatforming. All right. I don't think that it is in the interest of a commentator, especially somebody who has a sincere intention to seek truth. I don't think it's in your interest to be advocating for a big tech platform to be the determining variable as to whether you are allowed to speak. This is not a defense of Sneako or what he says. It is simply me stating that my position is pretty damn simple. When you start encouraging, endorsing the deplatforming of others, that principle, that precedent, what happens if that starts to get turned around on you? You might think to yourself, oh, well, I have all the safest opinions possible. It would never happen to me. Well, guess what? Okay, we operate within the bounds of power. And guess who else does? The fucking CEOs, the teams that build the fucking social media platforms that you use, okay? I already have used this example, but it is one of the most clear examples. What we are witnessing right now is a pendulum swing in the direction of the right in America. Allow me to explain. It is true that in wake of the 2020 election where Joe Biden was elected, that there was a swing back in favor of the Democrats. You could say establishment liberals, all right? The hegemon, the World Economic Forum hegemon. You can frame this however the fuck you want, okay? The people who want you to eat bugs. I eat bugs. They kind of regained power after the 2020 election. There was a somewhat, you could say, conspiracy to have Donald Trump removed from a lot of these platforms. Twitter famously removed Trump from their platform. I believe Facebook also took some kind of an action to effectively ban Trump from their platform. And it seemed like a lot of these big tech fucking people, they were thinking, he lost. He fucking lost. Woo! The Trump problem is gone. There's no way he'll be elected again. There's no shot. Look how old he is. MAGA failed. We did it. Yeah. Well, yeah, they fucked up. Trump got shot in the ear. Sleepy Joe got a little bit more sleepy. Kamala could not carry that fucking weight. Among many other problems with the fucking Democrats, they did facilitate what Israel did for the duration of their term. And now what we are kind of witnessing is the Republicans who are in office. They are ripping apart so much of what the Democrats or even past Republicans have kind of set up. And social media owners and CEOs are reacting. They are bending the knee to Trump. If you want to see one of the most obvious examples of this, let's find it. Mark Zuckerberg, Trump, Truth Social, jail for life. I think this is it. One sec. Yeah, I mean, there's so many fucking examples, but I do want to find this specific Truth Social tweet because it's so fucking funny to me because I'm a sick fuck, but it is kind of funny. Here's the headline.
Former President Trump unleashing new attacks against Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg for Facebook's involvement in the last election cycle. Trump's new book called Save America comes out next week and features this image of the former president with Zuckerberg inside the Oval Office. Trump writes in the caption that Zuckerberg plotted against him during his re-election campaign and warns Zuckerberg, quote, if he does anything illegal this time, he will spend the rest of his life in prison, as will others who cheat in the 2024 presidential election.
Right.
Zuckerberg now vowing to not repeat the same mistakes his company made during the COVID-19 pandemic.
Right. So yes, long story short, okay, these are the levers, this is how power operates, okay? Believe it or not, social media, any big corporation, all of these powerhouses of industry and of ideas and etc., they are not infallible and they are not without their weaknesses. One of those big weaknesses is that they need the favor of the US government, especially if they want to operate in America and out of America and have the support of America. And so all of these social media platforms have begun, in lieu of Donald Trump being elected, bending the knee to the Republican base, the MAGA base, Trump, whatever. Some of this has been super obvious, okay? In the case of Mark Zuckerberg, he gets threatened with life in prison if he fucks with this election. Trump does get elected, and then Zuckerberg suddenly ends up on Joe Rogan saying how I'm going to make Dana White, good friend of Donald Trump, an executive on the Facebook board of directors. He's bending the knee, okay? He's serving a new master. Obviously, in the case of like guys like Elon, a very adept opportunist, he purchases Twitter. The second that Trump gets shot in the ear, Elon endorses Trump. He's like, I'm backing Trump. That is a social media elite in the corner, obviously, of Trump. And now what you're seeing is YouTube, which is one of the, I would say, the most competent, okay? One of the most competent social media platforms. Many reasons I'd say that. Competent doesn't mean good, but you get what I mean. They have been very subtly, but very obviously, laxing their kind of grip that they did have over, for the far right on YouTube and whatever. You see guys like Sam Hyde openly calling for the fucking Constitution to be ripped up. Still has a channel, it's fine. You have guys, like Sneako, who just got unbanned, and there's a few other examples. Fuentes got unbanned and then rebanned, okay? So it's not a complete jailbreak here. But YouTube has been absolutely shifting in their policies, and we are going to explore that at a deeper level. But all of this to say, what does this signal exactly? It signals potential for the Trump admin to really leverage their weight against the left. There's going to be, I think there already is, but we'll see how explicit it gets, a reaction against the left, a reaction against even liberals, right? Like Jimmy Kimmel, you saw it. What happened was not simply, Trump saying this guy, Jimmy Kimmel, needs to lose his show, bam, even though he obviously liked that happened. It was simply a kind of obvious central, more or less, stand of Trump hating these types of guys, the momentum behind the MAGA movement in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, and the FCC, right, just kind of like leveraging their weight a little bit against, what was it, ABC and Disney. And then ABC and Disney, they're like, okay, I understand the programming, I get what you're asking of me, I don't want any fucking massive problems, we will get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. And it might have even been convenient for them to get rid of Jimmy Kimmel. Maybe he's expensive, maybe he's not getting that many views, I have no idea. But thankfully, there was a reaction from the people, and Kimmel was reinstated and all this. This is the thing you need to understand, okay? And again, this is highlighted in my original Sneako video, which is still worth watching if you've never seen it. People are always for freedom of speech until they get into a position of power where it's convenient for them to start to erode those rights, those privileges, those principles. Now, of course, there are principled people who exist, but usually people who are hungry for power, they're hungry to keep it as well. And guess what? It's just true. Speech is one of the most effective tools against people in positions of power. That's why you see many things occurring, but a top thing that is worth paying attention to. Even Moist Critical fucking mentioned it. Legendary hater of Sneako. Netanyahu openly talking about the acquisition of TikTok. The Trump government, the Trump regime, whatever, facilitating the purchase of TikTok and having a heavy Israeli influence and ownership stake being within the board that will now make up the new potential TikTok team. What's the purpose of this? Well, it's pretty damn simple. You got to control the frameworks of information spread. So, TikTok is right now certainly not, very sympathetic to the Israeli cause. And that is because people are not happy with Israel at all, as they shouldn't be. because of the fucking insane brutality that has been levied for the last 2 years. But anyway, it's all come to a big fat head, and we are now seeing the pendulum fully swinging. Guys like Destiny are now getting demonetized, and we are going to go into a big old juicy rant about that. But allow me just to explore the kind of specifics of this case real quick, okay? So here is proof that Sneako's channel is reinstated. Here it is. Whoa, 1.27 million. Damn, bro, it's crazy. It's like a time machine. We're back, bro. And then we have Sneako's reaction, which of all fucking people on this earth, I have many critiques of Sneako, many that I've vocalized and had many people listen to. But on a pure empathetic angle, I understand the kind of relief, the feeling of finally that he probably is feeling. So, you know, good for him on that front, I guess. If he starts talking loudly and I disagree with what he's saying, it might, you know, I wouldn't advocate for his deplatforming, but I might have to criticize him harshly once again.
You don't know what's going on, man. You guys know what happened? Do you guys know what's going on?
So this is Steezy Kane over here.
This is the
who's another YouTuber.
Spontaneous spark. I'm literally like getting my...
It's kind of crazy because I think that now Sneako's done like almost a full, not full, but he's done a pretty almost 360 where he's now back in New York. Like he, you know, went on his red pill arc. He moved to fucking Florida. He did all these things. Now he's just back in New York, back with his YouTube channel. It's crazy.
My login information right now. I just wanted to share this moment because I'm DMing Team YouTube right now. Oh, y'all don't know what happened, bro. You don't know what happened, bro. You don't know what happened, bro. Wait a second. Hold on.
Blood's about to cry, bro. He's got tears in his eyes, man.
Let me break it down for you real quick. Let me break it down for you real quick.
All right, bro, shut the fuck up, man. Jesus Christ. All right. Okay, we got it. All right, here.
Look at the screen!
All right, bro.
This is what it says when I try to log in.
Your channel won't be put back on YouTube until something happens.
I'm gonna show everything that happened. I'm just finding out. Just woke up. Just got the thing. Let me break it down from the beginning. Let me show you from the jump what happened. Let me show you from the jump what happened. I can't hit live. I can't log in.
This is such a rare experience, by the way. Most people, let's be very fucking clear. Most people who get banned on YouTube, especially, you do not get fucking unbanned. You see cases like this with Mumpky fucking Jones, a person who I dedicated a lot of my own time into supporting. Sneako, certainly a big part of why he's getting unbanned is because of the nature of why he was banned, okay? It was for election misinfo, it was for vaccine misinformation, it was for harassment. There were a variety of reasons, but now the vaccine thing and the election thing, well, you know, MAG is in charge, bro, so there's a bit of a readjustment occurring. That and Sneako is a big influencer. He has a big voice. He can kind of levy a little bit of his weight in this vein, right? If you're a tiny boy, I've had a channel terminated. Let's be fucking clear. I know firsthand, my boy Saplow, who has helped me run it, I know firsthand how much this fucking sucks. This is a common experience for anybody who has little power on a big platform. Usually when you get struck down, even if it's a fuck up on their part, it's your job to scream at the top of your lungs to try and make them do something, and even still, you're literally at their entire mercy, is what it is. But, you know, seems like Sneako, he rolled the dice correctly. Lucky. He's lucky. It's crazy because if Trump didn't get elected, bro, he would not have gotten his shit back. That's wild.
Again, well, I want to go live. I want to spark on YouTube, but I just okay. It's crazy. Yeah, this is like the moment I've been waiting for, and this is everything I'm waiting for. So, okay, so YouTube posted this. Today's the day we're launching our pilot program to give some blah 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 yappity yap.
It's yeah, they're giving. Here, wait up. I'll just read it for you because it's interesting. Today's the day we're launching our pilot program to give some previously terminated creators a chance to rejoin YouTube. We know there's a lot of interest and questions. Key points below. What's happening? Starting today, some previously terminated creators will have the opportunity to request a new YouTube channel. Not every eligible creator will have the option to request a new YouTube channel right away. We're rolling this out slowly as we carefully review requests and learn from the pilot. So let's be fucking expressly clear here, okay? There's multiple angles and reasons as to why YouTube is doing this, and very, 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 very few of them have to do with just YouTube being pro free speech all of a sudden. Oh, hallelujah. They are catering in a lot of ways to implicit expectations, potentially explicit expectations from the Trump regime, right? But also they understand and they have learned in time. YouTube used to kind of ban relatively fucking easily when there weren't competitors. Since Sneako got banned, like literally after Sneako got banned, after Andrew Tate got banned from YouTube, what happened? Suddenly, a bunch of competitors started to legitimately emerge. You had Rumble suddenly arrive and host a lot of right-wingers, right? Who guys like Fuentes, Tate, and Sneako. And even Twitch, when Twitch banned gambling content, crypto gambling content, when they banned stake, whatever. You had Kick come into the scene, and Kick host their own fucking crazy live streams where, you know, YouTube and Twitch would probably not allow. And since those competitors have gained some leverage, especially Kick, it's really gained serious leverage. YouTube has started to lax the fuck out of their policy enforcement. Now, I've been subject to a lot of policy enforcement at YouTube's fucking hand, okay? It's definitely not perfect. It's nothing like that. But I'll say this much. On live stream content, YouTube is damn liberal, all right? At least they have been, because it seems like the scrutiny is now being levied toward more left-light, more like liberal type creators like Destiny, okay? The metrics, the balance of power, basically, has made it such that YouTube understands one thing very, very well. We are better off hosting the offensive content. We are better off as a platform if we are remain the default locus for people to be platformed. When we ban someone like Sneako, Tate, Fuentes, whatever, we have to accept that their audience will go to another platform and will be out of our orbit and our sphere of influence. They want to retain as much control and as much fucking of a monopoly as they can on this space, right? That is the natural function of any business, is to eventually approach the point of a complete monopoly, to gain all of the relative power, to be the one, you know, the deciding variable, whatever. And so what has YouTube been doing? Instead of terminating people outright, YouTube lately, the last like 2 years, give or take, they have been demonetizing people. They have been preventing them from becoming a ad risk. You saw this, by the way, flashes of this like 4 or so years ago. Shane Dawson, James Charles, that Tati Westbrook drama. There's many creators, David Dobrik, Dr. Disrespect, all these creators who had these massive dramas, right? And where these situations, they weren't like legally, you know, these people weren't really legally held to account, right? But there was such a massive wave of discontent from audiences and other factions and whatever, all of this controversy. People started talking about pulling advertisers or whatever. Guess what? YouTube's just like, okay, we will host you, but you can't make money. That is a way for them to diminish your power, but keep you on their platform. And so now, while guys like Sneako are getting unbanned, we have guys like Destiny getting demonetized for the language, assumedly, the language and the kind of things he's been saying surrounding Charlie Kirk. And so I want you to be vigilant, all right? I want you to be aware. I want us to keep in mind that if you are principally, as a matter of principle, if you are for freedom of speech, you should not, even if you fucking hate the person, there are many people I dislike, okay? Many. Even if you dislike the person, you should not be eager to see other people silenced, demonetized, etc., especially if it's on the ground of their political speech, okay? Of course, we all have our lines, but especially if it's on the ground of their political speech. YouTube is not unbiased. They serve power. And when I saw this the most blatantly was when I first tried to make videos talking, obviously, about Palestine, okay? After October 7th, I interviewed our friend Vortex, okay? He was gracious enough to do a really solid interview. It's a video worth watching. I experienced firsthand the kind of control that YouTube actually has. They have trusted sources who gain algorithmic priority, but also who are allowed to be on the home screen or whatever you would say. Now, these policies might have been adjusted or laxed since then, but for those who were there after October 7th, you know that YouTube's policies were very, very clearly let the trusted, which means sources with relative power, whether it's a government, whether it is a corporation like the Daily Wire, right? Like the IDF, they were uploading uncensored gore footage after October 7th. Daily Wire obviously was talking all about it. Or if they are, you know, an institution or whatever the hell you would call it. The point is, basically, is if you have relative power, if you're a news organization, I should say, right? Obviously, news organizations were talking all about it at that time. If you have relative power, when an event like that happens, a crisis, YouTube defers it to those who have that relative power. And at that time, what did that result in? A lot of fucking sweeping, okay? And the interview that I edited, I uploaded at that time was age restricted. Almost immediately. There's no violence, there's no nothing, whatever. They clamped down hard as fuck on independent journalists and prioritized basically those with relative power, which in the West especially were almost unanimously sympathizing and, you know, trying to, in the later months, certainly run defense for Israel. You get what I'm saying, I think. But yeah, let's see.
Today we're launching our pilot program to give some blah, 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 yappity, yappity, yap. Right here said, new channel. Keep that in mind, new channel. I'm like, I don't want to start a new channel. I want my channel back. I said, you owe me my money and my channel back. I said, give me my back in blood. Give me my Give me my Team YouTube actually responded to the DM saying, we've DM'd you more info. Bet. I didn't think that was going to work. That was a Hail Mary attempt. They DM'd me. I screenshotted it and posted it on my all just now. Hey, saw your reply to our post about the new pilot. You should have been able to see the option to appeal in studio. I didn't. That's fine. At least they reached out. This should be fixed now. Can you refresh and let us know if you see it? Okay, trying now. Still not working. Same message. Can I have my original channels back? Another Hail Mary. Woo! Hail Mary attempt. Because they specified it wasn't like that. Who's calling me? Give me a second, everybody call me.
It is actually so wild to see this, man. I really hope Mumkey gets his channel back.
Said, can you share the channel URLs that you're looking for? I sent them. I dropped the Addy. Do you happen to have a full channel URL for the second one? Yes. Even my second channel up? The channel has no content. Oh, the shorts are still up. But there's my second channel, my streaming channel. My streaming channel!
Yeah, so he got both his channels back. I can't handle the yelling. It's not funny. It's not serving me, really. So you get the point, okay? He was watching some of his old content, getting nostalgic, clearly. What's this?
Before I was on Rumble, before the generational run, when I was canceled by everybody, before I met Ye, it was in the summer of 2022, when I was really languishing, when I was really having a tough time. I had no platform access. This was before October 7th, Ye 12th.
Blood's crying.
Before
Damn.
any kind of hint of this huge run that I've been on for the past couple of years, he had me on his stream multiple times.
I mean, it is true that Sneako fucking, in essence, in some ways, he did lose his channel for hosting Fuentes. You know, I might have critiques of fucking, for sure, of all these guys. So you got Sneako's reaction. This is the process that took place.
So this isn't just a win for creators, it's a win for free speech in general. In a letter from Alphabet, the parent company of Google and YouTube, they admitted to the U.S. House Judiciary Committee, that's hard to say, that there was pressure from the Biden administration to censor speech, stating senior Biden administration officials, including White House officials, conducted repeated and sustained outreach to Alphabet and pressed the company regarding certain user-generated content related to the COVID-19 pandemic that did not violate its policies. While the company continued to develop and enforce its policies independently, Biden administration officials continued to press the company to remove non-violative user-generated content, which means that the administration badgered the snot out of them to remove the content that they didn't want on the platform.
Yeah, so this makes perfect sense. Like I said, does YouTube operate, like, this is the whole thing that I had to learn the hard way, bro. You don't understand the shit that I've fucking witnessed, been through, you know, experienced by osmosis. A lot of commentators, like, dude, my 2 Mad video has been removed. The video that everyone knew me for years, the Death of H3 video, removed, and new policies made because of it. The Gokanaru Plus YouTube channel, the Clips channel that was actually gaining momentum and popular, whatever, removed for duplication. It was total fucking farce. It was for impersonation, actually, not duplication, my bad. Impersonation. There's just so many fucking weird problems that I've had to navigate, and there's more that I'm just forgetting at this point. I got strikes that I don't fucking deserve. There's so much to it. False copyright bullshit. But yeah, all this to say, YouTube is now admitting that they did unfairly, enforce policy in response to government overreach, which is just not shocking. Like I told you, at the end of the day, they serve power, and it's easy to undermine, but the person who is in the White House, they actually do have a lot of fucking power. Not unlimited, but they do have a lot, right? And these big companies, they understand if you are too antagonistic to people in these kinds of positions, a lot of fucking problems can come your way, okay? We're not just talking about, unfavorable policy changes. We're not just talking about legal problems. We're talking about, like, you can get your fucking monopoly busted, my friend. Alphabet's in a primed position to have their shit busted up. Same with Meta, So there's a lot of risk for these people, and they calculate those risks, and they understand we got to play ball. So they did play ball with Biden, the Biden administration, and they are playing ball with the Trump administration. And I am just hoping that that doesn't result in a more serious crackdown. I am hoping that this actually means they're going to, release control to a decent extent and allow us to fucking speak without picking and choosing their winners. But time will tell. Obviously, they've already demonetized Destiny. Here's the Verge article. Loosen its content moderation policies. They've relaxed their policies. Yeah. And okay, they're now instructing reviewers to not remove content that might violate its rules if they're in the public interest. So this is very interesting framing. A lot of this is doublespeak, okay? If you have a mob of people who are super pissed off at you and demanding action from YouTube, or if you piss off the wrong people in positions of power, such as guys within the Trump administration, YouTube will take action against you, okay? What this is, in an ironic way, finally just kind of them saying is, yeah, our policies are relatively enforced. It really depends on the case. There is not strict rules. Duh. Fucking duh. And so, here it is. In training material viewed by the Times, YouTube says reviewers should now leave up videos in the public interest, which includes discussions of elections, ideologies, movements, gender, race, sexuality, abortion, immigration, censorship, if no more than half of their content breaks its rules, up from 1/4. I see. That's so fucking insane. So, dude, holy shit. It's so funny because this is like the first time that they're being more forthcoming about this. And again, this is being done totally to kind of appease, Republicans right now, right? Because why were they so kind of, they're being public about the laxing of enforcement, but I'm sure there's some specific things they are still enforcing or even leaning more in on that they will not talk about, maybe until the fucking Democrats get elected again. And then they got to say that they did the opposite. We'll see. But this makes a lot of sense. YouTube, at the end of the day, they want more market share, even though they have the vast majority. They want to fuck their competitors. So they want to host more people, right? If you're able to host more people, there's less people who will go to alternative platforms. They want more, over time, more revenue, more money. Money's not everything in these businesses. It's power, but relative power. But money is important. Your business needs to be growing, right? And so, of course, it costs money to have humans review content, right? And in a lot of ways, having specific rules makes it difficult for things to be enforced. And so having these more lax rules actually, in a lot of ways, probably saves them money. It saves them money and a lot of time, for sure. They're basically saying, yeah, we don't even want to deal with this. We don't even want to think about it. And it's not because really they care that much about freedom of speech. It's just that they clearly realize, yeah, when we try to ideologically enforce policy or to establish what's right, what's wrong, etc., that can fuck us depending on who gets elected to the White House. So, yeah, this is a very rational reaction from YouTube. They said YouTube tightened its policies against misinformation during Trump's first term as U.S. president and COVID pandemic. As it began removing videos containing false information about COVID vaccines and U.S. elections, the platform stepped back from removing election fraud lies in 2023, but this recent change goes a step further and reflects a broader trend of online platforms taking a more lax approach to moderation following Trump's re-election. Yeah, facts. Earlier this year, Meta similarly changed its policies surrounding hate speech and ended third-party fact-checking in favor of X-style community notes. There you go. And so we shall see what the hell this will exactly bring. There are more articles I have. We'll see if they're, important. This was earlier last month. YouTube to reinstate accounts banned for posting false claims about COVID-19 in 2020 election. Sneako definitely falls under that category. They basically, this is just their announcement that they're going to be doing it. People like Robert F. Kennedy were removed for posting vaccine misinformation. So this makes a lot of sense, obviously. So Robert F. Kennedy is now in deep with the Trump team, right? So this is one move to appease them, right? Now accounts banned for violating those rules will have an opportunity to rejoin the platform. YouTube values conservative voices on its platform. The fact that they're saying that out loud, that gives the game away so hard. It's like, okay, conservatives, you are safe on our platform. We won't be deplatforming you. Well, we'll see. We'll see if they value liberal voices too. I'm sure they do. But anyway, it'll be those fucking lefties who might get cracked down on, but we'll see. Or guys like Destiny. On its platform, recognize that these creators have extensive reach and play an important role in civic discourse. Yada, yada, yada. Yeah. I see. Interesting. As online platforms, including Alphabet, grappled with these decisions, the administration's officials, including President Biden, created a political atmosphere that sought to influence the actions of platforms based on their concerns regarding misinformation. It is unacceptable and wrong when any government, including the Biden administration, attempts to dictate how the company moderates content. Well, let's be clear. If Google could, they would much prefer to have complete control over what they do and do not platform. They would rather not need to be responsive to a government, but they are. They are. So that fact likely will not change. But here's Article 2. YouTube is letting some previously banned users return. That means you may see videos that violated old rules. This is basically just, a more recent rendition. What happens once you're approved? Users who are approved won't be able to fire up their old channels with their original follower list. They'll have to start fresh. That's not true. It seems like they are reinstating old channels, depending on the person. YouTube spokesperson said the change aligns with a broader push to ensure for users fully understand the rules before they're booted from the platform. In its letter announcing the change earlier this month, YouTube said the move reflects its commitment to free expression. YouTube is committed to free expression. Yay! Yay! Woohoo! We'll see. We shall see, baby. This is all interesting. This is all very interesting to me and worth taking a closer look at, I'd say. Notably, obviously, you have the CEO of Reddit, the CEO of Discord, the CEO of Twitch, and the CEO of Steam, Gabe Newell. You have all those guys being summoned to testify in front of Congress, but it was delayed, it seems like, because right now the government is, what's it called? Not in recess. It's shut down right now, okay? So we'll see what comes from that, but let me just double check in my mind. I do believe that those companies are all headquartered in San Francisco. So let's see. One sec. Nope. Steam is in Washington. I do know that Reddit and Discord and Twitch are all San Francisco. And yeah, I mean, Twitch is a more left sympathetic platform. That's true. And so it seems like this will probably be a shakedown of those CEOs to try and also make them bend to MAGA, as YouTube has done, as Meta has done, as X has done, etc. So keep your eye out. I believe Washington State, though, anonymous. I don't believe Washington, D.C., yeah. Discipline, education are focused on improvement. Punishment has a significantly more vindictive semantic. You've hurt me, and so here's something. Okay. What happened with Meta? Oh, it's pretty simple. Trump threatened to put Mark Zuckerberg in prison for life if he fucked with the election. Because the whole angle basically is that Trump alleges Zuckerberg fucked with the Facebook algorithm leading up to the 2020 election, which hurt Trump's odds at winning. That's, part of why Biden win, according to Trump. And so he's saying, if you do that again, Mark Zuckerberg, I will kill you. I mean, I'm kidding. I will put you in jail for life. So, yeah. But Mark Zuckerberg obviously took that message very, very clearly, and he bent the knee to Trump. That's the way the power works. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. It is funny that there's actually a rule that apparently like half of your content needs to not violate TOS. So you can have half of your content violate TOS. Wild stuff coming out of YouTube, man.